Hello, how are you all? I'm making my video in the afternoon. That's actually natural light coming in through the window for once. So I've done a little bit of work, so I'm just trying to get you on screen here. There we go. You can see my flower garden. I have done a little bit of work on my flower garden after last week because I didn't sow anything last week. So I'll just show you quickly a little bit of what I've done. So I stitched down my stems first, just using an overcast stitch with a normal thin sewing cotton, a white one. And then, so I stitched them all and placed them out, distanced them out, separated them. And then I stitched on my Suffolk puffs in different ways. So this one I've done an overcast stitch in a red perle cotton. This one, all I did was I've actually just I've stitched it down just in the middle and then stitched the button. This one here I did a running stitch in red around the outside, but just a little bit from the edge. This one has French knots, and this one I did the same as that one. Really just stitched it down with the button. And then I've added a little bit embellishment so far on the stems. This, and this. And then I've stitched down a couple of random buttons so far, 3. And I've got a few extras I'm going to add in. So that's my first job today, is I'm going to add in some random buttons. But before I get started, I was talking a couple of weeks ago about needing some red wool. I've got a lot of lovely hand-dyed wools, and the blues will go nicely. But I needed red. So look at this new pack that I bought. So those are 2 good reds, and then I just picked a variety of colours, like a rainbow of colours, all hand dyed, and they are from, on Etsy, Jody, and it's hand dyed one word, D-Y-E-D, by Jo's, apostrophe S, J-O apostrophe S, Paradise of Colour. Okay, can you see that? Hand dyed by Jo's Paradise of Colour. So these came to me from Jo, who is in Australia, Queensland, I think. That's right, isn't it, Jo? Jody. And it was actually her mum that sent me a message because she's doing Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And she said, my daughter does some hand dyeing of wools, because I showed wools the other week and I didn't have any reds. So now I have some reds, which is fantastic. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to enable you. There was someone who went out and bought some of the wools after I showed them the other day. I don't do it deliberately to enable you. It's not like I'm getting promotions for any of this or anything. But it's just that when I show stuff, people ask where you get them. And so it's just easy for me to say straight up. So if you are looking for stuff like this, you can find it. So I'm going to give Jo's wools a try. I got out the reds because I need to put some wools on my butterfly, some reds. But I just wanted to show you that I did actually source some red wools, which was handy, and there'll be some that will go onto this project. So time to stitch some buttons. I normally stitch my buttons down with perle cottons. Oh, I got the best, and I am going to show you this, and again, it's not enabling you. In fact, it's so cheap. If you're in Sydney, it's definitely worth a visit. So I went to the Sewing Basket on Saturday, and I found some great bundles of perle cotton. So just to show you, an example is this bag. What have I got? Nine perles in there. Most of them are brand new. Most of them. Some of them had not been used. $2. And they're brands that I like. So, you know, they can be crochet cotton or perle. I don't know what that brand is or where it comes from. Finchy, I think it's called. But I really like this. I bought this at a craft store that used to be where Mum lived. She doesn't live there anymore. And I bought heaps, and I really like stitching with them. There's the same brand. Oh, Wonderful. I mean, that's one I buy. So perfect. Love stitching with Wonderful cottons. Perle cottons. I think there's some DMC. And not all the colours I'm using this project. DMC, but I'm just showing you, if you are in Sydney, there's another one to fill. If you are in Sydney, it's worth a visit. This is a Pearly Lusty, looks like an older one. It's a little bit glossy, but they're brand new. They have not even been used. And then a DMC again. And then I got more. Just wait, there's more. This bag was $1. So I've got some light blue. Some of these, obviously these ones have been used quite a lot, but good colours, and then neutrals. And then I wanted to get a whole heap of neutrals. And these are crochet cottons. And they're both $2 bags. So I just grabbed random bits and pieces. I actually had a few more in there. I think I've taken them out. So it's just good for slow stitching and stuff like that. I got more than that. I found quite a few good things on the weekend. Sometimes I go and I only find a little bit. Sometimes I go and I find a lot. So, like I said, if you're in Sydney or visiting Sydney, you should go visit the shop. So the one that I went to was the bigger one, the Newington one. But I'm probably due for a visit to Balmain as well. And then quite a few things in here I got. Like all these beads, I got 5 of them to make it up to $1. They're just 20 cents each. And you'll sometimes get them where there's not much left. Or you'll get one that's like brand new that hasn't been opened. So I just pick random colours and bits. I'll see that one's almost got nothing, but it's only 20 cents. But it was just a nice colour. Little bag of beads there, 50 cents. Just plain buttons. I like them because they're little, 80 cents. Like they cost nothing. 60 cents. Lovely shell buttons. There's 4 in there for 20 cents. Again, just small. They look like shell buttons as well. 20 cents, 50 cents. I do try to find sequins that I like. These ones, I like the flat ones. 20 cents, 50 cents with the little stars. I've used one of these on one of my things. 60 cents. 50 cents, they're shell. Most of them are shell. I go for a lot of shell, 50 cents, etc. But what I did find, first time I've ever found them, the buttons that I said that I really like that I can never find, and I actually found them. They look quite new because they're in the packaging, but not like the old vintage ones, like these ones. I love the ones on the cardboard. I'm thinking of stitching that actually down on my project. But this is the first time I think I've found them. Like I just don't see them. So I was excited. So yeah, there's more buttons, but kind of a common theme. Shell, white, and clear buttons. Oh, and I got some little red ones. Thought I could put some on this project. I need more blue buttons. I'll have to look for blue next time. I noticed I don't have as many choices in blue, so I'll get some blue ones next time. Anyway, just wanted to show you a few things that I found on the weekend. And so let's continue on with the stitching here. I am actually going to pull out one of the pearlies that I bought. The light blue will go well. The navy blue will go well. And I'll just grab one of the reds that I've already been using. They will all go well. Okay. So I'll get some stitching done. Alright, so I've got a little blue button, a kind of bluey grey one, a green one. Even though I know green's not my colour, I'm just adding it in. It's a good tone of green, that one. And then a blue and a red over here. And I'm going to give them stems. So we'll just start with the green. And I might go the light blue to start off with. So I'm sure we don't need a lesson in stitching buttons because it's pretty much the easiest thing you can do. I might just stitch one, then I'll pop off the camera, stitch down the rest, then I might show you how I do some stems. These will go everywhere. So just move them out of the way, hold it in place, approximately where I want it. So it's like my button garden. I've seen some gorgeous button gardens and gorgeous clusters of buttons and lines of buttons and so many different ideas that are coming out. Buttons are fun. I like using them. And Rachel, I know you like buttons, but you don't use them so much, so I think you should use them more because they're fun to play with. So I was thinking with the stems, I could embroider the stems. I'm going to play around and see if maybe some little strips of fabric might look good. Just thinking of doing a little bit of maybe embroidery with my dyed wools. So let's see what happens. Okay. Oops. All right, while I've got the, oh, I dropped my button, hang on a sec. While I've got my light blue threaded up, this is kind of a watermelon-y kind of colour. So, move you over a little bit so you can see better. Just watermelon this one. All right. Put it down a bit so it doesn't blend in too much with the red stripe, otherwise you won't see it so well. And what I thought I might do is run a strip of lace along here as well. I haven't found which one I'd like to do. I'd like an old one that's kind of off-white, ecru kind of colour. I'll have to have a look at some of my laces and see if there's one I like. All right, we'll switch the colour up. I think it's time for some red. Okay, let's just put this little blue one on. Okay, so much for turning off the camera and stitching the buttons down off camera. I'm almost done. I may as well just keep going, right? 2 more to go. You can always fast forward me or skip ahead if you don't want to watch. Okay, we'll get these last 2 on. I'll do them in red. Okay, and 1 more to go. This blue one. So what I'll do, once I've stitched this down, I'm going to pop the camera off. I'm going to have a look at a few things to see if there's some bits and pieces I want to use to make the stems. I just don't want the stems to be super thick. What might be good is even couching some wool stems. That might look good. So I'm going to just go have a look at a few things, decide what I want to do, and I will be back really quickly. Okay, all done, ready to go. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, so I'm back. What I've done is off camera, I've finished stitching my buttons. I added some bits of lace here and here. And now I've drawn a couple of lines with the friction pen, which will be my stems. And I was having a think about whether I wanted to do them in just red, white and blue, but because I've added a green button, I'm actually going to do, there's another one, I'm going to do some green stems because I have some lovely green hand-dyed wool. So I have more than that, but that will do for a start. And I think it will look fabulous to have some lovely wool stitching. So let's get some leaves on, and I will stitch over these with wool as well. I'm liking the green. I added a bit of green, you may remember, onto my butterfly, and I really liked how that looked. So I'm going to keep adding green. Okay, so I'm just drawing some random leaves. Okay, and how I embroider them, I don't know yet. We'll work that out. This is going to go behind my other leaf. And I'm going to show you something. One sec, I'll show you something else. I like that one, so I might do some of them. So just randomly drawing onto my fabric. So they do, some of them don't quite fit because, oh, excuse my cat. Goodbye, Bobby. Off you go. She's walking across to get to her cat tree. Okay, so random leaves, and then what I was thinking is once I've done stitching, like I said, I want to add a bit of trim across the bottom. So I've just got an old piece of lace, and I was thinking of stitching that across the bottom, which I think would look good. All right, but that's the last thing I'll do. So let's have a go at stitching. So I could couch, I could do back stitch, I could do stem stitch. There's a whole bunch of stitches. I'm pretty much going to do stem stitch on this one. So just come up a little bit, and then you come back down through the fabric about halfway through the previous stitch. For anyone that hasn't done stem stitch, kind of looks like a rope once you're done. So hopefully you can see it's a bit of a lighter thread. Come up a bit, halfway back halfway down your last stitch, and you pull it through. Check that I'm on camera. Oh, I'm a little bit to the side. I'll do a stitch up closer so you can see. Focus. Okay, so come up a little bit, and just a little bit down my last stitch, just there, and pull it through. And you'll start to see it when the darker colours come through. So easy to stitch with this wool, it's lovely. I'm going to come under the button. A little bit awkward to stitch under there, but under the button so it runs right up and you can't see the tip of where I'm stitching. And then I'll just finish it up here. Try that again. Sorry, it's just a bit awkward coming under a big chunky button. Okay, so see, it kind of looks like a rope. All right, I'll end that one off on the back, and then we'll have a go at the leaves. I am using a milliner's needle. I can't remember what number. It's quite a long one. And as you know from watching me before, I do really like stitching with milliner's needles. Okay, so there's my stem. Now we'll have a go at the leaves. Now it doesn't matter it's not right down at the bottom because the lace is going to cover the bottom anyway. So I think with the leaves, I'll just do a back stitch. With the leaves, I was thinking some of them I'll fill in with satin stitch. Some of them might be more open. I just want some variation. I could just not stitch everything. If I do one leaf to show you like on each one what it could look like. I want to change some of my wool colours so I get some different shades and tones. So one person on Facebook was asking if we were going to show you how we're going to finish off our pieces. Yes, that would be the plan, just in case. I think we did talk a little bit about that at the beginning, but the plan would be to show you what we were thinking. I haven't discussed it exactly with Rach, so we potentially could be have different ideas, which is good because it can give you different ideas. But obviously for both of us, this project was supposed to be a wall hanging. So we'll be turning our pieces into wall hangings of some description. That won't be until December because we need to get through our prompts, but we'll probably do the 2nd December prompt on that 3rd Wednesday, and then the one after that will show you how we would finish ours off. We may not be ready to completely finish by then. For the most part, as you know, I'm like you guys, I get behind in my projects. I'm still working on the garden one, by the way. I'm still adding flowers. There's still more I want to do, but I'm not worried because I'd prefer just take my time and do it slowly and then have everything done the way I wanted it to be done, like with everything, like without skipping bits and pieces because I'm trying to finish. So I think I'll just keep working on that, and once I am finally finished, I will show you the final product. Okay, so I'll pop the camera off while I sew this second leaf, and then I'll come back and show you some of the others. All right, I've done a little bit of my stems for my button garden. So stem stitch and stem stitch. Then these are just satin stitch, kind of rough satin stitch leaves. These ones I did a back stitch for the leaf, and then I just whipped it to neaten it up and thicken it a little bit. And I think you saw me do that one before. So I'm going to, this is a couched stem, and I'm going to show you how I did that on this one, just to give you an idea. So I'm coming up under my button, and I'm going to bring it in a straight line down to just short of the base. And what I'm going to do, so we've got our line there, I'm going to use the exact same thread to couch it. So I'm going to come up just above where I went down at the base, and I'm going to use the same thread to couch over it. Hello, Bobby. Sorry, there's my cat making noises. Okay, and then I just keep going couching it. So I'm just seeing where the little line is, so I bring my stitch up right next to that line. And on this side, whoops, and going down over the thread. So I'll do that the whole way along, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with this next leaf. So I've actually used 3 different types of variegated wools so far. There's a lighter one, a mid one, and then this one's got some slightly darker tones. I've actually gone off and I've played hockey, and I'm back, so it's now night time, quite late, getting late. And we won, which was great. Bit of a funny incident at the end of the game. So in field hockey, not ice hockey, you are actually allowed to lift the ball, as long as it's not dangerous. But when you hit it, if it goes near a player, it can be deemed dangerous. But if it's from the knees downwards, that's fine. It's just play on. And if someone gets hit below the knee, then they're the ones that get penalised. So it was right near the end of the game, and I had a free hit, and I was taking it kind of slowly because we were winning 2-0. And a girl was walking, she was quite a distance away from me, but she was walking out of the play with her back to the ball. And you just don't do that in hockey. You've got to actually face the ball, because otherwise you're not going to see it coming towards you. And I hit the ball into a gap, which was kind of next to her, but I actually hit her on the back of the leg. And really it is her fault, not mine, because she was walking with her back to the ball, which you don't do. And it hit her like quite low down on the calf, and she got really angry with me, like I'd done it deliberately. I hadn't, I just hadn't quite got the gap that I was aiming for. Happens. It happens in hockey all the time. You're just like, whatever, it's fine. We get hit by the ball. And she started kind of having a go at me, and then the ref gave her the penalty, and we're like, that's not their penalty, it's actually ours, because it hit her low down, and if you get hit low down, you're penalised. And so the ref changed her decision, and the girl was just arguing, going, but it hit my leg, it hit my leg. And she's pointing to where it hit her, like really low down on the calf, and she was basically arguing for us, like it was just bizarre. And we were like, you're arguing our point. Like, you're actually saying the same thing as us, except for the rule is it's our ball, not your ball, because it's a very simple rule. Very, very simple. If we hit above the knee, it's their penalty. If they get hit below the knee, it's our penalty. It's a really easy rule to ref. And anyway, the ref had given us the point, and then one of their players, a different one, turned around to my friend and I, who was saying, "You're arguing the point for us," and swore at us and told us to F off. It was literally right at the end of the game, and we're just like, what is wrong with you? Like, because none of the game was like that. Like, occasionally games can get a bit tense and bitchy, but, you know, a little bit narky at each other, but no one really swears very often. And to have someone turn around and swear at us, like, and especially when they were losing, yeah, it was a little bit silly, but a little bit entertaining for us too, because she lost it, this other player, just got all whingy. So anyway, that was the end of our game, and happy to say we beat them. So we're up to round 2 of summer. We just play on a Wednesday night, and the team we beat last week won first grade comp. We came like 4th, I think it was, and we beat them 4-0, which was a really good score. And then the team we played tonight came, I think they came 2nd. So we've beaten 2 teams that beat us in winter, so that's good. We've actually, our summer team's going really well so far. So anyway, summer comp goes just on a Wednesday night up until a week or 2 before Christmas. And then we have a break until about late Feb when we start training again for winter. Anyway, it's just social and fun in summer. All right, so I was just doing, let me get the stitch right, fly stitch. I think it's fly stitch. What's the other one, Rach? We mix them up sometimes. Fly stitch and I can't remember. Anyway, you just saw what I was doing, hopefully. So that's that leaf and stem done pretty quickly. Just finish it off on the back while I was chatting away, telling my story. And then I have 3 more. I might put some darker thread over here. Okay, I've done 2 couching, 2 stem stitches, a running stitch. I might do this one as a running stitch as well. I like to start at the top because it keeps the button up here rather than right on the edge, although in saying that, I did put a knot there and there. So we'll just do this one as a running stitch. And for the leaves, I'm going to do a detached lazy daisy stitch. Same style that I did when I did some stitching of leaves and stuff on my butterfly. Can't remember if I did that on video or off video, but I'll do it now anyway. I'm actually liking my butterfly. It's turning out better than I was expecting. I'm just going to keep adding to it bit by bit until it's done. I'll show you in a sec. I have added it a bit more this week, just as I find bits and pieces I want to put in there. All right, so before I show you that, I'll show you detached lazy daisy. So I'm just going to come up where I want my leaf to start. Let's put this down so you can see it. And then we come back into the same hole, or just next to it's okay as well. And you come to the tip of where you want your leaf to be, or just short of it, I am. And then, sorry, just working this wool. Okay, there we go. And then I pull it until it makes like a leaf shape and just go straight over the top to hold it down. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side, coming up where I want my leaf to start. See if I'm still on camera. Yep. So this leaf comes up into here, but that's okay. I can actually, if I want to, I could actually bring it right up into that, so it's like in front. Okay, so I like to hold the thread down with my thumb so we don't get tangles. And then over the top to hold it down so you can see that leaf. It's like the plant's in front. Wrap my wool around. And last one. So 4 detached lazy daisy stitches for the leaves. Okay, that's a quick and easy one. All right, I have a little bit of this wool left. I think it might be enough to do this little guy here. Okay. So I'm going to start down here. Putting my knot on the edge again, but that's okay, we won't see it. I'll just do a back stitch again. Could do it, might do a split stitch. Why don't we try something different? Here we go. So instead of going back into that hole there, I'm going to split the fibre. So let's see how this looks a bit different. So I'm going to come up ahead and then I'll go down into the middle of the fibre and split it. Split stitch, kind of looks like a plait. I'll show you up close in a sec when I'm finished. So split the fibre. Something different. It's as quick as doing back stitch, so it's a quick stitch. I'll do one more under the button. Bring it up and split the fibre. Okay, can we see how that kind of looks like a plait? All right. I think I'm going to do a lazy daisy stitch on these again, and then I've put a line through the middle, so I'm going to do a straight stitch, long stitch, kind of a long straight stitch. So we'll do our detached lazy daisy again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change this. I'm going to do double, actually, totally change it. I'm going to do a double detached lazy daisy. So there's one, and whoops, let me do that one again. I went a bit too far ahead there. Let's take that out and do it again. See, I went so far, big gap. I'm going to come a bit closer. Okay, so there's one lazy daisy, and let's do a second one. It's kind of like a love heart. And I think I'll just have enough wool to get another double one done on the other side. Like a love heart or butterfly wings. See? That's different. And quick's good. Oops, I just unthreaded my needle. Hang on. Okay, let's just get this last one done. Just going to have enough thread. Oh, unthreaded it again. Okay, here we go. Last stitch. Just enough room to get over the edge. And there we go. That's cute. It's like a butterfly. And have I got enough budget? You know, if it's not long enough and you can't get the front of the needle in, a good way to do this is I just run the back side through. Okay, and then I unthread it. That'll hold. All right, let's see where we're at. I have one more to do. Quite like this bright one, which I think was this one. The problem with this one is there's a lot of light and then you get a short bright section. Doesn't matter, I'll use it. So I'm going to do the, oops, threaded that poorly. I'm going to do the split stitch again because I've only done that once. What I am thinking about doing as well, maybe doing some embellishment, like I could do French knots about around here, or pistol stitch, or just a running stitch, lazy daisies even, like detached lazy daisies. I'm thinking of doing a bit of wool embroidery. I might even do some around here. We'll see. That won't be on camera tonight. I think I'll leave that one to be done during the week, and I'll come back and I can show you what I've done next week. Okay, splitting it. So new prompt next week. What's the date today? I think, are we up to, what date are we today? 25th? 25? Yep, so next month is the next month. Next Wednesday is the next prompt, and that will be Rachel. Yep, Rachel's presenting the prompts first. So you'll go to her channel first next Wednesday for the new prompt. Hopefully you like it. I'm looking forward to not the next one, but the one after. I'm not going to say what it is, but I've got an idea for it. Sometimes I have ideas in my head straight away and I really want to do something, and then other times I'm not quite sure what I want to do, and so I go to Pinterest to get a bit of inspiration, and then that helps me. But yeah, the next one I haven't quite thought about what I want to do yet, but the one after that I'm ready with my idea. Okay, might just split that last one. Okay, and I'll just weave it in a bit at the back to come down to where the leaves are, and I'm getting to some of the bright stuff now, so that will be good. Just start with this one. And I'm going to do might do the double lazy daisies. Quite like that over the other side. So let's do some double lazy daisies. Doesn't matter if the blue lines show, I can just iron them off later. These are bigger ones, they're longer. Could even do a triple lazy daisy if you wanted to. And what you can do too, like you could actually pat it in. So I could do a stitch in there. I'll show you, I'll pat it in. So do one straight stitch there. Just fills it out a bit, and then I'll do another one here. Something different. Okay, let's go to the next one. So I'm going to just finish this little stem here with the leaves, and then that will be it for tonight, because my video is going to be quite long. And next week I will show you if I've done any more progress. So I'm thinking about doing some French knots down here, maybe some things down here with some of the coloured wools, the red wool, the blue wools. So I'll show you that next week. Yeah, I'm just going to turn this upside down. So one lazy daisy. Now we'll do the second one. And then we'll put a stitch in the middle to thicken it up. We are almost done. Okay, let's see if I've got enough thread to do the last one. I think we might just make it. Okay, and the last one. All right, so snip it off and we are done for today. Let me show you. Let me just check I'm on camera. So there we go, maybe some more work to go on my little button garden and the button flowers. But I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out, and eventually maybe having the bit of lace going across the bottom, which I think will look pretty, and maybe adding in a little bit more embellishment. So we'll see how I go this week with maybe thinking about a few more things to add. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for a new prompt. Bye.